I am 17 years old and I started babysitting 3 years ago. It all started when my father's neighbor asked me to babysit his children for a few hours every other Saturday. I agreed, not thinking it would be the start of something bigger. The kids were cute and I enjoyed fiddling with them, playing with them, and taking care of them. Soon, my father's other neighbors learned of my willingness to help with the children and began inviting me to watch their children. The extended family also began to rely on me to watch the children. I really enjoyed it. Not only was it an enjoyable way to spend my time, but it was also a great way to make money. I was so well known and appreciated in our community that I was paid very well for it. My father supported me in this and encouraged me to save the money I earned, which I did. My father was always an example to me. He worked hard and never complained. He taught me the value of hard work and to respect the people around me. When I started babysitting, he was the first to support me and told me it was a great way to learn responsibility and earn my own money. He helped me manage my finances and advised me on how to save and invest better. Thanks to him, I learned a lot, and that knowledge proved invaluable. Every Saturday, I went to my neighbor's house and spent time with their children. I made them breakfast, helped them with their homework, and played various games with them. We often went for walks to the park or played board games at home. The children loved me, and I felt like I was doing something important and meaningful. The parents of these children were grateful to me and always praised my work. This gave me great satisfaction and confidence. However, everything changed 2 years ago when my mum got married. Her new husband had 3 children from her previous marriage, ages 8, 7, and 5. I had never been close to my mom and had always preferred to live with my dad. But when I tried to stop going to her house, it led to legal action. The judge ruled that my mom would get custody of me if I didn't continue to visit her house. Therefore, I am forced to visit her every 2 weeks. The first visits to my mom's house were very stressful. I felt like a stranger in her new home. Her husband and his children did not accept me as part of their family. I tried to stay away and stay out of their business. Mom, on the other hand, was constantly trying to get me to spend more time with her stepchildren. She said I should love them and accept them as my siblings. But that was impossible for me. I didn't feel any connection to these kids, and I didn't want to pretend that everything was okay. A few months ago, my mum asked me to watch her stepchildren, reasoning that I was doing it for many others. I didn't want to do it and told her so, but she insisted that I had no choice. I accepted it, but did it without much enthusiasm. Unlike other times when I babysat of my own free will, here I just sat in the house until Mum and her husband returned. I didn't play with the kids or make them a nice dinner. I just made them pizza or something simple and left them to their own devices. My mum knew how much more I did for my cousins, since some of them were her relatives. She'd had me babysit her stepchildren a few times, and a couple weeks ago, she and her husband started asking questions about why I wasn't showing my good babysitting reputation more. They said that I basically ignore the kids and do nothing when I babysit. I replied honestly that they could make me babysit, but they couldn't make me be a good babysitter. My mum's husband said his kids are upset that I'm not fun and play with them like they expected. I told him I never wanted to babysit his kids. My mom said that I willingly babysat the neighbor kids and had a great time with them. I replied that I had a choice in those instances. Mom talked to several of her siblings and found out how much better I was at babysitting my cousins than her stepchildren. She came to my dad's house to complain about me. She said I should be ashamed of this behavior, but I disagreed. I said that when I turned 18, I would stop babysitting, and my mum would no longer have a say in my life. Apparently, they are going to make me babysit until then. My mum thinks I should grow up and be a better person. She insists that I should treat the only siblings I'll ever have well. But I disagree. To me, the real siblings are the ones I grew up with, love, and care about. Ultimately, I realize that this situation is difficult for both me and them. But that doesn't mean I have to sacrifice my inner peace and comfort for the sake of pleasing everyone around me. When I babysit for the neighborhood kids or cousins, I feel needed and important. I know that these kids really appreciate me and love spending time with me. I know that I'm doing something good and useful, and that makes me happy. I love playing with them, cooking for them, helping them with their homework. I love to see their joy and smiles. It gives me a sense of fulfillment and joy. Despite the pressure from my mum and her husband, I decided that I needed to find ways to find inner peace and harmony in this difficult situation. I knew that relationships with new children in the family take time, and I should not lose hope. I began to look for compromises that would allow me to maintain my inner balance and still be a supportive mum. I started by setting aside time to spend with my kids, even though it wasn't easy. In the beginning, I just tried to be present in the room when they played and gradually got involved in their games. I learned that one of them was into drawing and offered to help him with his drawings. The other was a big fan of outdoor games, and I agreed to play soccer with him. These small steps helped me to connect with the kids and bond with them, at least a little bit. My mother noticed the change in my behavior and accepted it with cautious optimism. She understood that working on relationships takes time, and while I still wasn't thrilled with the idea of being their nanny, I was trying to do better. I learned to find a balance between what I needed and what would be helpful to the family. I began to realize that my role in these children's lives didn't have to be perfect, but I could try to be at least a little bit of a support for them. Each time, I became more confident, and although these children did not become real siblings to me, our interactions became calmer and less stressful. I saw that I could find fulfillment not only in a job that I enjoyed, but also in creating a positive atmosphere in a difficult situation. After a while, I noticed that perhaps their perception of me had changed too. They began to treat me more warmly, and our interactions became less strained. While I would still prefer to work with those who truly appreciated my presence, I realized that my help, even if it wasn't perfect, could still make a difference. When I reach the age of 18 and have full control of my life, I'm going to continue to nanny and help those who truly appreciate me. But I will also remember that sometimes in life, you have to make compromises to make it more harmonious, even if it requires some sacrifices. Little by little, I learned to accept difficult situations as part of life and find something positive in them. It was difficult, but every step along the way helped me grow and become more mature. I continued to follow my principles, but I also realized that understanding and tolerance can bring unexpected fruits. In the end, I realized the importance of finding my own path and being true to myself, even when faced with challenges. And perhaps this will be an important lesson in my life that will help me not only in my work, but in every other aspect of my life.